Starting in Cathar country out in the Haut-Fitou vineyards, flying high above, we're at the Chateau of Aguilar, which represents the eagle in Occitan, the language of this region called Occitanie. Oc means yes, and that's how the word Languedoc came to be, the language that was spoken here until recently and still is in many instances. This circular-shaped structure seems to have relayed information to other locations and to the higher realms. The Cathars hid the energies when they knew they were defeated and left it for a time when they knew that those portals could be open again. It's the work that some came here to do so that the higher realms can be accessed more easily. We begin in this beautiful field with the Chateau of Aguilar behind us. This is a vineyard with beautiful flowers all around, sitting under an olive tree, and in this beautiful region of France that is known for the Cathars and for Mary Magdalene. And taking you here with me, it's a great pleasure because I feel so called by Mary Magdalene to be in this area and to share the story of the Cathars and the beautiful castles and the history and the importance for our time. That's very important to the entire history of France, that these Cathars were here, that they were living the true teachings of Christ, that they believed that Mary Magdalene was the wife of Jesus, and that a time came when they were eradicated. And then these lands and these castles were taken over by the French royalty, and although sometimes it went back and forth, it finally became part of France. Many have been inspired by the courage of the Cathars and the cruel crusade waged against them. Notice what you feel as you explore these castles and the countryside. Perhaps a memory, a feeling, an opening. The years of the Cathars were 1022 to 1321. Carcassonne, with its slate roofs, mountains, vineyards, pine trees, herbs, and sweet flowers, is the gateway to the area, known for La Cité, the fortified medieval town and headquarters of the Cathars, originally an oppidum, then a Roman city, 11th century, was owned by Viscount Trencavel. Rennes-le-Château. On a mountaintop, there is a most magical village with a chateau and a famous church and a famous priest who renovated the entire building and dedicated the church to Mary Magdalene. This is the place where people from all over the world come in the footsteps of Mary Magdalene. Here is where Mary Magdalene greets us. What message is there for you? What are you drawn to inside the church? Observe the book, the skull, the cross, and the jar. This is a place where I feel the sacred feminine, where I can connect to it, where I know I'm coming up to a magical place on a hill, and something unique is going to happen. Whether it's meeting somebody, whether it's finding a new piece of information, whether it's just feeling the energies here, I know something is going to happen, and it's going to be wonderful. Also, the magic is looking around us here. When I come up here, I like to look at Mount Bugarash, the most magical sacred mountain, and it's always different. It's either covered in clouds, or I can just feel the UFOs landing there, or I can just think about the Essene community there, and the caves, and the experiences walking up, and walking down and walking around the different parts of the mountain. Down in this valley, I had some of the most incredible experiences. In the caves here, the Magdalene caves, I felt myself my true self. I got messages of where I was supposed to go next, where I was supposed to travel, what was my mission, and most important, embracing myself. And that was the message that I got this year, that the most important thing was to embrace myself. Looking out over these mountains, I think of the Cathars, I think of the history of everything that happened here. And I remember the message of Mary Magdalene and the message of the Cathars too, that we are the ones. If they left all these messages and these traces and these treasures and these scriptures, what was it for? It was for us to do it. It was for us to live the true teachings, for us to live the expansion of our true spirituality, to create the new earth, to create a beautiful life in community, in sharing, in everything we do, to live this magnificent fulfillment of our mastery and our spirituality. So we are here to be inspired with that. And now we're at Notre-Dame de Marseille, near Rennes-le-Château. And I'm going to tell you something about the feminine archetypes inside this basilica. And here is Notre-Dame de Marseille, the Black Madonna. She represents the feminine archetype and relates to the ancient goddess worship and Mary Magdalene. And we find another symbol of the sacred feminine in Notre-Dame de Marseille. It's Mary Magdalene. So she is here too, representing, bringing the light in and blessing. And here's another symbol of the sacred feminine, venerating women, and Anna as the grandmother and the mother of Mary. She's teaching, in many statues, she's teaching Mary from the scriptures, and we see that Mary was a student from a very early age. Here we see a religious sister passing on the information to a new initiate in the form of a garment, while Mary watches on with the baby Jesus. Here at the center of the altar we see Jesus, and next to him the female counterpart can very well be Mary Magdalene. And here are the springs where many healings took place throughout the centuries. Pilgrims have come here for centuries to heal their eyes and 1,000 other ills. here's the Nostradamus house. This is the house where the grandparents of Nostradamus lived. We see on the house a number of symbols, and we see the sign of the Star of David, which represents Judaism. And we know that there was an important Jewish community here. And this may have links to Mary Magdalene and the fact that she lived in this area too, because we are very close to Rennes-le-Château, here in this little village of Alette-les-Bains. This is the former seminary. This building existed in the 14th and 15th centuries and was transformed into a seminary by Nicolas Pavillon in 1672, the Bishop of Alette. This is Notre Dame d'Alette, Our Lady of Alette, a Catholic church. But look at the stained glass windows and the form of the Star of David. What do you think about this mystery? Alette-les-Bains was a very important village. It was the headquarters of the bishop, and it was a place of pilgrimage. We're now in the Gorge de Galamus. This is a very deep gorge, and there's a river that goes through it called the Agli, and it starts at Bugarash, and it goes all the way to the Mediterranean. There's now a cave where you can meditate. This mountain is also known as a landing pad for extraterrestrials. And it seems that Steven Spielberg came here before he did his film, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and he was very inspired by this mountain. In 2012, many people thought that this would be the only place that remained after the end of the world. This is such an extraordinary place to come and meditate and to receive messages and to communicate with the beings of this mountain. And look, we're up here, we're in the heights, we're almost 500 meters, and it's windy. And this is still Bugarash behind me, and it looks totally different, but it's the same mountain. And we are in nature, in this beautiful, peaceful nature. And now look at this castle behind us. This is Bézu. This is the last Templar castle. The Cathars were here before, and the Templars as well.